Stop. Stop what you're doing right now and look at me. This is not a casual interruption, and you are not seeing this by chance or through the random luck of a digital algorithm. There is a weight in the atmosphere at this exact second that you cannot ignore any longer. You felt it before you even pressed play, a pulling in your spirit that told you this moment was inevitable. You thought no one saw you in that hidden moment of sacrifice, but the heavens were watching with bated breath. You released what you had when you were at your lowest point, giving from a place of holy depletion rather than abundance. That specific generous action you took in the dark was not a loss, but a tactical strike against the gates of lack. The transaction is complete and the response has already been signed. I am speaking to the person who sat in the silence of their room and felt the trembling in their hands as they chose to be a conduit for the kingdom. This message was prepared with your specific geography in mind, bypassing the masses to find you in your current state of exhaustion. Your recent act of generosity was a spiritual transaction that has already reached the Father's desk, triggering a sequence of events you cannot yet see. Right now, you are navigating a sense of profound vulnerability that feels like a cold, biting wind against your skin. You did the right thing, yet your logical mind is screaming that you have left yourself unprotected in a dangerous world. You are looking at the numbers and the energy levels, seeing only what has left your hands while failing to see the celestial frequency that has shifted in your very home. The spirit of scarcity is whispering in your ear, trying to convince you that God is a debtor who takes without settling the account. It uses the silence of this waiting period to plant seeds of resentment, making you question if your obedience was actually foolishness. You feel empty, almost as if the miracle-working capacity you once felt has been drained out of your soul by the weight of your own kindness. You must understand that you are currently standing in the mystery of the widow's oil. This oil does not flow when the jars are already full. It only begins to pour when there is an empty vessel positioned in faith. Your sacrifice has created the very vacuum that the heavens are now obligated to fill, but you have been looking at the perceived emptiness of your jar instead of the flow. The sound of your sacrifice echoed louder in the celestial courts than any prayer you have whispered in the last year. While you were worried about how you would survive the next week, a decree was being signed in your favor. The transaction you initiated in that moment of secret giving has unbolted a door that has been rusted shut for 3 generations of your bloodline. Your logic is currently the greatest enemy of your breakthrough. It tries to measure a spiritual release with material instruments, creating a friction that is wearing you down. You are tired of being the one who always gives, the one who always sows, while watching others reap harvests you have bled for. But this time is different, for the Father has authorized a specific, immediate intervention. If this word is already landing in your spirit and you recognize the weight of the moment I am describing, I want you to type "I am here" in the comments right now. Do not do this as a way to interact with a platform, but as a formal declaration that you have shown up for the appointment that was prepared for your soul before time began. I have been sent here today with a very specific delivery that is classified for your eyes and ears only. We are going to deconstruct the exact anatomy of the miracle that has already been released into your atmosphere. You are not waiting for God to move. God has already moved, and now we must align your frequency to recognize what is crossing the material threshold. The resistance you are feeling is proof that the enemy is terrified of the revelation I am about to hand you. There is a mechanism in the kingdom that you triggered without even knowing its name, and it has changed the legal standing of your inheritance forever. Stay with me, because I have not yet told you the most important thing about what is coming next. I need you to pause. Not just your hands, but your very heartbeat. Clear the space around you right now, for the ground you are standing on has become a private sanctuary between you and the Ancient of Days. Take a deep, intentional breath, not just to survive, but to expand your spirit, to receive the weight of what is coming. The Father is about to confirm the secret things you thought were only known to your own restless mind in the dark. Shut the door to the logic that has been screaming at you since you made that recent sacrifice. Your mind is trying to calculate a loss, but your spirit is detecting a frequency that feels like an approaching storm of favor. You must be still to hear the validation of your assignment, for the noise of the world is designed to drown out the sound of your own breakthrough. The heavens are opening their records, and I am here to read the entries concerning you. The first sign that your transaction was accepted is that sudden, unexplained peace that settled over you immediately after you gave. It made no sense to your bank account, and it defied every law of self-preservation, yet you felt a lightness in your chest that you couldn't explain with human words. That peace was the King's digital signature on the deed of your miracle, sealing your heart from the poison of regret before it could take root. You have noticed a series of strange near misses in the last few days, accidents that didn't happen, problems that inexplicably resolved themselves, or delays that ended up protecting you from a greater disaster. These were not coincidences. They were the protective hedge activated by the frequency of your gift. Because you took care of the kingdom's business, the kingdom dispatched specialized guardians to handle the unseen threats that were moving against your specific geography. Pay attention to the specific names that have been surfacing in your mind from your distant past without any logical provocation. These are not random echoes of memory, but the spirit of remembrance moving through the social fabric to prepare the way for your harvest. The Father is stirring the spirits of people you haven't spoken to in years, positioning them to act as destiny helpers when the manifestation finally reaches its material peak. You have felt a physical sensation of warmth or a heavy, comforting weight resting on your shoulders during your quietest moments, perhaps even right now as I speak. This is the weight of the Shekinah glory, the tangible presence of the Father responding to the sacrifice you offered when no one else was looking. It is a sensory confirmation that you are no longer walking alone, but are being carried by a power that transcends your own strength. Your dreams in the last 72 hours have become vivid, intense and strangely instructional, filled with symbols of open doors or deep flowing waters. The Father is bypassing your conscious resistance to download the blueprint of your next move while your analytical mind is at rest. These night visions are the coded language of your breakthrough, revealing that the miracle gate has already been unbolted and is now swinging wide for you. Every one of these signs is a breadcrumb leading you back to the altar of your sacrifice, but they are only the beginning of the confirmation. The miracle that has been released into your atmosphere is far more systemic than a simple blessing. It is a fundamental shift in your spiritual DNA. We are moving toward a revelation that will make sense of every tear you shed while you were sowing in the silence. You are standing on the edge of a manifestation so tangible that you will be able to touch it with your hands within this window of expectancy. The current is moving toward your shore, and the dam that once held back your inheritance has been completely pulverized by your recent act of generosity. Your eyes are about to see what your heart has only dared to believe in the quietest, most vulnerable hours. If you recognize these 5 signs manifesting in your life right now, I want you to perform a digital act of covenant by typing 777 in the comments below. This is not for engagement. It is a physical seal on the digital threshold, a declaration that you are in alignment with the frequency of the release. By typing this, you are saying to the heavens that you see the smoke rising from your altar. Remember the widow who gave her last bit of oil, believing that her emptiness was a death sentence when it was actually an invitation for a fountain. You are that widow, but your jar is no longer empty. It is being bypassed by a supply that has no end. Your generosity was the golden pipe that allowed the heavens to test your capacity to handle the flow of the truly miraculous. You have proven that you are not a container that hoards, but a conduit that releases, and therefore the flow can never be retracted from your life. The Father is now moving from the general blessing to the specific miracle, but you must understand the mechanics of how this works. Everything you think you know about your sacrifice is about to be challenged by a truth that has been hidden for ages. There is a word in the original Hebrew, a concept known as korban. That is the master key to everything you are experiencing in this current season of release. It is a word that most people mistranslate as mere sacrifice, but its true meaning reveals exactly why the Father's heart has been pulled into your specific geography. Stay with me, because this single word is about to change the legal standing of your inheritance forever. There is a word etched into the very foundations of the celestial courts that describes exactly what you did. though you likely call it by a lesser, more painful name. In the ancient Hebrew tongue, it is transliterated as korban, pronounced korban. Most people, even those who have studied the sacred scrolls for a lifetime, believe this word simply means a sacrifice or a religious payment offered to appease a distant deity or to purchase a blessing from a celestial vending machine. They see it as a loss, a subtraction, or a price paid to satisfy a debt. But the religious definition is a hollow shell that hides an explosive, life-altering truth. The word korban does not come from a root meaning to lose, to surrender, or to diminish. It comes from the root karav, which means to draw near, to touch, or to bring into intimate, unshielded proximity. Your recent act of generosity was not an exit of resources from your life. It was a korban, a tactical mechanism of proximity that pulled the Father's heart directly into your specific geography. By releasing what you held, you didn't pay a fee. You closed the distance between your need and His hand. That is where you are right now, standing in the electric space where the human and the divine have finally touched. Because you chose to draw near through your action, the miracle gate, known in the heavens as the Shah, has been unbolted over your house. This is not a metaphor for a good feeling. It is a legal reality in the spirit. The lock that held back your inheritance for 3 generations was not picked by your prayers. It was pulverized by the frequency of your korban. The sound of your gift hitting the altar was the sound of the bolt sliding back. You must understand the principle of spiritual transmutation that is currently operating in your atmosphere. The world sees a gift and calls it gone, but the kingdom sees a gift and calls it a seed undergoing a change of state. What left your hand as currency or time has been transmuted into a frequency of favor that the enemy cannot mimic or intercept. You are no longer dealing with the slow, linear math of the earth. You have entered the exponential acceleration of the Shah, where the harvest overtakes the one who is still sowing. You are currently standing in the same dusty threshold as the widow of Zarephath, whose story I have been authorized to set before you as a mirror. Remember her, for her crisis of depletion is the exact coordinate of your current struggle. She was down to her last handful of flour and her last drop of oil, gathering sticks to prepare a final meal for her son before they surrendered to the famine. She was at the point of absolute surrender, watching the horizon for death, when the prophet arrived with an impossible, almost offensive demand: "Give to me first." That demand felt like an assault on her survival, just as your recent call to give felt like a reckless risk to your security. Her logical mind screamed that she was being asked to commit a slow suicide, yet her spirit recognized the frequency of the korban. The moment she released that small cake, she wasn't just feeding a traveling man. She was initiating a movement of proximity. She was drawing the presence of the provider so close to her kitchen that the natural laws of exhaustion and famine were immediately suspended in her specific home. That is the exact mirror of your situation. While the world around you is whispering about famine and the rising cost of survival, your korban has created a microclimate of abundance that defies the regional forecast. Her jar of flour did not run dry, and her jug of oil did not fail, not because she found a new supplier, but because her home became a holy geography. The Father didn't send her more jars. He turned her existing jars into a fountain. He is doing the same for you right now, changing the nature of what you already possess. Stop looking at the perceived emptiness of your flour jar and start listening for the sound of the flow. You are no longer a container that must hoard to survive. You have been upgraded into a kingdom conduit. The golden pipe metaphor I mentioned earlier is now your active reality. The more that flows through you to the purposes of the King, the more the residue of that glory stays on you, lubricating your path and healing the friction in your finances. You are being tested to see if you can handle the pressure of the overflow. This is why the enemy is so obsessed with your recent action. He doesn't care about the amount you gave. He is terrified of the conduit status you just achieved. He knows that as long as you were a container, he could poke holes in you through debt and disaster to drain you dry. But he cannot drain a conduit that is connected to the infinite source. Your generosity was a tactical strike that broke the cycle of poverty by proving that your trust is not in the resource, but in the flow. You have triggered a systemic shift that is currently recalibrating your entire bloodline. Every ancestor of yours who struggled with the spirit of scarcity is watching from the cloud of witnesses as you finally break the seal. You are the one who dared to believe that drawing near to God was worth more than holding on to the last of the oil. Because you made your life a Corban, the Father has made your life his priority. The transaction is complete, and the legal standing of your inheritance has been shifted from pending to released. Do not let the silence of the last few hours convince you that nothing has changed. The dam has already been pulverized, and the water is currently rushing through the hidden canyons of your destiny. It is a matter of alignment and frequency now. You must stay in the Corban frequency, the state of constant drawing near. Every time you feel the urge to worry about what you gave, replace that thought with the declaration, "The gate is open." You are not waiting for a miracle, you are standing in the middle of one that is still materializing. The Father is looking at you right now, not as a beggar asking for a crumb, but as a kingdom partner who has proven their capacity to manage the wealth of the heavens. You have moved from the outer courts of general blessing into the inner chamber of specific manifestation. This is the chosen one protocol. You were selected for this specific release because you showed that you could be trusted with the holy depletion. You gave when it hurt, and now the Father is preparing to give until the hurt of your past is completely forgotten. I need you to recognize your new name in this moment. You are the kingdom conduit. You are the altar builder who knows that the fire only falls where the sacrifice is laid. You are the covenant breaker who has severed the ties to the lamentation of lack. Take a moment to breathe in the weight of this identity. It is not an award for your good behavior. It is a classification for your new level of authority. The atmosphere in your home is thick with the Shekinah right now because you drew him near. The manifestation you are seeking is not a distant object you are chasing. It is a frequency you are currently emitting. Your generosity changed your spiritual scent, and the favor of the King is now tracking you down like a heat-seeking missile. You couldn't hide from this breakthrough if you tried, because your Corban has made you a beacon in the spirit realm. The angels assigned to your harvest have already been dispatched, and they are carrying crates that bear your specific signature and your new title. Wait, stay with me, because there is a deeper layer to this that I have not yet revealed. We have talked about the gate being unbolted, but I have not told you about the watchman who stands at that gate and what he is currently carrying for you. There is a specific type of miracle, a systemic shift, that is crossing the threshold at this very second. It is something your logical mind told you was impossible, something that even your prayers didn't have the words to describe. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name written on it in a script that only your spirit can read. We are moving into the 72-hour window of expectancy, where the physical and the spiritual finally collide. You have crossed the bridge of the Corban, and there is no going back to the land of not enough. The next layer of this revelation goes deeper than anything you have experienced before, and it will require you to leave your last bit of doubt at the door. Stay focused, for the sound of the rushing water is getting louder. The dam is gone, the flow is here, and the Father is about to speak a word over your specific situation that will silence every whisper of the enemy forever. You are not just receiving a blessing, you are being redefined by the very act of drawing near. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name on it. You are standing in the middle of a total reconstruction of your spiritual DNA. The labels the world once gave you, the names of struggler, debtors, or survivor, have been incinerated by the heat of the revelation you just received. You are not who you were when this message began, for the Corban you offered has stripped away the old skin to reveal the architecture of a new authority. The Father is now looking at you through the lens of a celestial classification that changes everything. I have been authorized to speak your true names into the atmosphere of your home, for names carry the weight of destiny and the power of permission. You are no longer navigating the dark by your own light. You are being crowned with a status that the enemy is legally required to respect. Listen closely, for as I name you, the chains that have bound your hands are falling to the floor. This is your coronation moment, the official recognition of your spirit. I name you today as the kingdom conduit. You are no longer a container designed to hoard the little you have, but a specialized pipeline through which the wealth of the heavens must travel. Because you released that gift when it felt like a risk, the Father has upgraded your spiritual hardware to handle a higher pressure of flow. You are now classified as a vital link in the distribution of glory, meaning the supply cannot stop as long as you remain open. As a kingdom conduit, your primary protection is the flow itself. Just as running water prevents a pipe from rusting, the constant movement of generosity through your life will keep the spirit of lack from ever settling in your geography. You no longer have to pray for enough to survive. You now stand as a terminal of more than enough to distribute. Your personal needs are now handled as a matter of maintenance for the conduit, guaranteed by the King's own decree. I recognize you now as the altar builder. Your recent sacrifice was not a simple transaction. It was a construction in the high places of the Spirit. You have built a structure that the Father is obligated to answer with fire, proving that you know how to command the attention of the heavens. Most people offer prayers into the wind, but you have offered a korban on a specific altar of obedience, creating a permanent landmark for your breakthrough. Being an altar builder means you have moved from being a spectator of the miraculous to becoming a practitioner of it. You now possess the legal right to expect a tangible, consuming response from the throne over your finances, your health, and your household. The fire of God does not fall on empty ground. It falls exactly where a builder has prepared the wood and laid the sacrifice. Your life has become the designated landing strip for the fire of the King. I declare your final name for this season, the Covenant Breaker. By your recent act of reckless generosity, you have reached back through the generations of your bloodline and shattered the seal of poverty. You have broken the unspoken agreement your ancestors made with the spirit of scarcity, ending a cycle that has lasted for decades. This name marks you as the revolutionary who refused to accept the limitations of the past, rewriting the future of your children. As a covenant breaker, you are now legally exempt from the failures and patterns of your history. The debts of your fathers and the systemic limitations of your background no longer have any jurisdiction over the work of your hands. You have signed a new contract with the heavens using the ink of your sacrifice, and every door that was closed to your lineage is now forced open by the weight of your new status. You are the golden pipe of the kingdom, and the oil of the Spirit is already moving through you with increasing velocity. You are becoming golden, not by your own striving, but by the heavy residue of the glory that is passing through your life. Every time you release, you are polished. Every time you sow, you are reinforced. The more that travels through you to the purposes of the Father, the more your own substance is transformed into the wealth of the King. If you are still here, feeling the weight of these names landing in your spirit, I want you to gently press the like right now. Do not do this for me or for the platform, but as a deliberate act of service to the next person. Someone whose faith is currently failing needs this word to find them, and your simple action in this moment is the mechanism that will carry this light into their specific darkness. Be the conduit even in this small thing. I promised I would come back to something critical, and the time has arrived to reveal the specific anatomy of the 72-hour window. There is a watchman standing at the unbolted gate of your miracle, and he is holding a ledger that contains the final instructions for your manifestation. If you miss the posture of the next 3 days, you risk delaying the harvest that is currently rushing toward your shore. You have your names, but you must now learn how to walk in them. Stay with me, for we are crossing the final threshold where the word becomes flesh and the promise becomes a physical possession. There is a specific type of resistance that always follows a naming ceremony, and I must arm you against it before the sun sets. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it concerns the reason why your logical mind is about to experience its final defeat. There is a word for what happens next. You are now a marked person in the spirit realm. The moment you received your new names, a siren went off in the low places of the enemy's camp. For he is not afraid of your potential. He is terrified of your new classification as a kingdom conduit. Because you have unbolted the gate through your korban, the enemy is now forced to launch a desperate, three-pronged counterattack to make you retreat from the threshold. The first arrow he will fire is the immediate emergency. Watch your mailbox, your phone, or your bank app in the next 48 hours. A sudden, unexpected bill or a minor domestic crisis will materialize out of nowhere, designed specifically to make you regret your recent generosity. It is a psychological trap, intended to make you whisper that you shouldn't have given, effectively freezing your miracle in transit. When this emergency appears, you must not react with panic, for panic is the frequency of the orphan who has no provider. Instead, use your first weapon, the shout of provision. Look directly at the crisis and declare aloud, "My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches in glory." Do not negotiate with the fear. Command the atmosphere to align with the storehouse. The second tactic is the voice of reason, and it will likely wear the face of someone you love and trust. A friend, a spouse, or a family member will suddenly question your extravagance or call your recent sacrifice foolish. They aren't trying to hurt you, but their carnal minds cannot process the spiritual logic of the Korban. They will try to pull you back into the safety of scarcity. Your defense against this is the shield of silence. You must resist the urge to explain your spiritual transactions to people who do not have the security clearance to understand your assignment. Silence is the incubator of the miraculous. When they question your wisdom, simply smile and hold your peace. You do not owe a carnal explanation for a celestial instruction. Protect the frequency of your secret altar. The third and most dangerous tactic is the delayed signal. The enemy will try to induce sacrifice fatigue by making the next 72 hours feel strangely quiet, almost as if nothing has changed. He wants you to believe that the heavens are deaf and that your gift was swallowed by the void. He is gambling on your impatience, hoping you will abandon your post just before the manifestation arrives. To shatter this delay, you must engage in high praise warfare. For the next 3 days, spend at least 10 minutes every morning in a state of aggressive gratitude, thanking the Father for the miracle as if it is already in your hands. Praise is the bridge between the released and the received. When you praise in the silence, you prove to the enemy that your faith is not for sale. You are now fully armed and dangerous. These 3 weapons are not suggestions. They are the standard issue equipment for the Chosen One protocol you have entered. The enemy cannot stop the flow of your harvest, but he can try to convince you to turn off the valve yourself through doubt. Do not give him the satisfaction of your regret. Stand your ground in your new identity. Before we move into the final alignment, I want you to subscribe to this channel right now, not for the sake of content, but as a deliberate act of spiritual alignment. By doing this, you are ensuring that the next word prepared specifically for your journey finds you without resistance or delay. Consider this your digital commitment to the frequency of the prophetic word that is currently sustaining your spirit. We are now entering the most critical window of this entire process. I promised I would come back to the 72-hour window of expectancy, and the weight of that moment is now upon us. There is a watchman standing at the unbolted gate, and he is looking for one specific thing in your posture. Stay with me because the deepest truth is about to be grounded in your reality. Close your eyes right now. I need you to detach from the room around you and the noise of the screen in front of you. Place your right hand firmly over your heart and feel the steady rhythm of your life, for that rhythm is currently being synchronized with the heartbeat of the Father. Take a deep intentional breath, inhaling the weight of the Shekinah and exhaling the carbon dioxide of your anxiety. We are entering the holiest geography of this encounter. Focus on the heat in your palms. This is not just physical warmth, it is the friction of the miraculous passing from the spirit into your nervous system. You are being prepared to release the weight that has hindered your walk and to receive the mantle that has been waiting for your Korban. Do not rush this moment, for the transaction is shifting from the record books to your very bones. We are moving from information to absolute investiture. I release you right now from the suffocating grip of the spirit of scarcity that has whispered you would go hungry because of your generosity. I command the frequency of not enough to be shattered in your mind, breaking the lie that your sacrifice left you unprotected. You are no longer a victim of the economy of this world. You are a citizen of the storehouse. The fear of hunger is replaced by the fragrance of the feast. I release you from the memory of debt that has kept your spirit bound to the failures of your past, every ledger that recorded your losses, and every internal voice that reminded you of your financial scars is being incinerated by the fire of the altar. The trauma of being behind is being erased from your spiritual DNA. You are walking into a fresh record where the only entry is the abundance of the King. Right now, as that weight lifts, I want you to perform a digital act of covenant. Type "I received the release" in the comments below. Do not do this as a social interaction, but as a formal filing in the archives of the Spirit. By typing these words, you are notifying the enemy that his jurisdiction over your mind has ended. You are marking the threshold of your exit from the land of lack. Sit in the weight of that. I release you from the parasitic need for validation, from people who did not see your secret sacrifice and would not understand your heart if they did. I cut the cords of expectation that tied your joy to the approval of the carnal. You are justified by the Father's gaze alone, and his "well done" is currently echoing through the corridors of your soul. Human silence no longer equals divine absence in your life. You are seen by the one who matters. I release you from the fear of the future that tries to paralyze your next generous act before it can even be conceived. I break the spirit of hesitation that makes you clench your fists when the Father asks you to open them. Your future is not a gamble. It is a guaranteed harvest anchored in the character of the provider. You are free to live with open hands, knowing the supply can never run dry. The vacuum is your friend. I call forward the kingdom conduit chi within you. I activate the spiritual hardware that allows the wealth of the heavens to flow through your life with precision and velocity. May the golden pipe of your destiny be cleared of all debris, and may the pressure of the Spirit increase until every area of your life is lubricated by the oil of favor. You are now a terminal of the infinite source. The flow is your new permanent state. I call forward the altar builder. I activate the authority within you to command the fire of the heavens through the placement of your korban. From this day forward, your life will be a series of strategic sacrifices that draw the Father's heart into the material realm. You are no longer guessing where God is. You are building the place where he is legally obligated to manifest his glory. Your hands are skilled in holy construction. As these identities rise, I want you to speak your new status into the atmosphere. Type "I am a conduit" in the comments right now. This is your decree. This is your signature. You are aligning your digital footprint with your celestial classification. By typing this, you are accepting the responsibility of the flow and the protection that comes with being a vital link in the distribution of the kingdom's riches. Do not hesitate. Declare who you are. I call forward the Pax, covenant breaker. I activate the revolutionary power in your bloodline to shatter the seals of generational poverty once and for all. You are the one who has reached back into the darkness of your history and severed the ties to the lamentation of lack. The cycle ends with you. Your children will never know the scent of scarcity because you dared to believe in the korban. The seal is broken forever. The widow's oil is no longer a story in a book. It is the mechanical reality of your kitchen and your bank account. The golden pipe is no longer a vision. It is the architecture of your soul. The flow is heavy, it is hot, and it is irreversible. The gate is unbolted, and the watchman is nodding in approval. But stay with me. Do not say amen yet. We are not finished. Stay with me. I place a sovereign hedge around the movements of your spirit and the physical steps you take in the next 72 hours. I cover your mind from the corrosive whispers of regret that seek to steal the joy of your recent sacrifice. Every highway you travel and every room you enter is now under a high-clearance protection protocol, ensuring that no weapon formed against your destiny can find its mark or its moment. You are shielded from the fallout of this spiritual shift. I declare an active coverage over your financial accounts and every resource currently bearing your name. I speak a wall of fire around your supply, preventing the devourer from touching the residue of your obedience. The miracle that is crossing the threshold is protected from systemic interference or digital delay. Your bank account is no longer just a number, it is a holy geography covered by the insurance of the kingdom, and your provision is secured against every worldly fluctuation. I extend this covering over your household and the hidden dreams you have whispered only in the silence of the night. Every member of your family is now under the umbrella of your Korban, pulled into the proximity of the Father's favor because of your singular act. Your children and your children's children are shielded from the scarcity you once feared. The peace that surpasses understanding is now the permanent atmosphere of your home, guarding your heart and your thoughts in Christ. I place a specific seal over your dreams and your night visions during this window of expectancy. No thief can enter the portal of your rest to steal the blueprints being downloaded into your spirit. The instructions you receive will be clear, protected from distortion or spiritual static. You are covered in your coming and your going, in your sleeping and your waking. The canopy of the Almighty is your roof, and the shadow of His wings is your secure and impenetrable hiding place. We break the assignment of the immediate emergency right now. We break the voice of carnal reason that seeks to mock your extravagant faith. We break the silence of the heavens that tried to convince you that nothing is happening. My child, I saw you in the secret place when you felt the weight of that decision and chose to give anyway. I was there when your heart trembled, watching the internal war between your fear and your love for me. You thought you were losing a piece of your security, but I was measuring your capacity to hold the oceans I am about to pour. I saw the tears you didn't let fall, and I recorded the sound of your silence. Those signs you have been seeing, the peace, the near misses, the names from your past, were my handwriting on the walls of your life. I have been whispering to you in the dreams of the night, bypassing your logic to speak directly to the spirit I formed. You are not a stranger to me, you are a partner I have tested and found faithful. The Korban you offered has drawn my heart so close to your house that my presence is now your companion. Do not look at the storehouses of men or the fluctuations of the world to find your comfort. Look at me, for I am the storehouse that never runs dry and the source that cannot be exhausted. I am moving the winds from the four corners of the earth to bring back to you a harvest that you cannot even name yet. What I have released over you is not a temporary blessing, but a systemic shift that will redefine your entire legacy. I am resetting the clock of your inheritance right now, erasing the years the locust has eaten and the scarcity your fathers endured. You have broken the cycle of the orphan, and you have stepped into the authority of the heir. My hand is upon your hands, and my favor is upon your brow. Every door that was previously locked is now responding to the scent of your sacrifice, swinging wide to welcome the king's conduit into the room of manifestation. I am authorizing a release of favor that will cause strangers to labor for your advancement and enemies to surrender their ground. You will not have to fight for this territory, for the Korban has already cleared the path. I am the God who remembers, and I have not forgotten a single seed you have sown in the dark. The time of hiding is over. The time of the open heaven has begun. Your obedience has invited me into your crisis, and I have arrived. Rest in the certainty that I have already settled the account and authorized the delivery. The miracle is not merely coming, it is already being unsealed in your specific geography. Walk with your head held high, not in pride, but in the holy confidence of one who is deeply loved and strategically positioned. I am your shield and your exceeding great reward. The flow has begun, and I will see it through until your joy is full and your cup overflows. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Do not say amen yet. Sit in the weight of this atmosphere. Let the frequency of the Korban settle into your very bones. Breathe in the heavy presence of the Shekinah that is filling your room at this exact second. You are standing on holy ground, and the transaction of your life has been permanently recorded in the heavens. The gate is open. The flow is moving. Now, you may say amen. Send this word to someone whose faith is still standing, but whose hands are getting tired. You know exactly whose face is appearing in your mind right now. The one who has been sowing in tears and needs to know the harvest is at the door. Your act of sharing is the final movement of the conduit, carrying this light into a darkness that only you can reach. You are the answer to their prayer, just as this word was the answer to yours. Stay in this silence for a moment longer. The 72-hour window has officially begun, and the watchman is at his post. Your posture in this quietness is your final declaration of trust. Do not rush back into the noise of the world. Let the seal of this prophecy harden and set. You have moved from the land of not enough into the geography of the Shah. You are walking in the miracle now. Sit in this.